I never paid much attention to the old creek behind the mill. It was just there, part of the background, something you drive past without thinking. But one day I stopped and realized it wasn't the kind of place you ignore. It's the kind of place that you notice first. People talk about the mill like it's been sitting there longer than anyone can remember. But the creek behind it, that part has a different feel to it. You notice it as soon as you get close. Not because anything dramatic, just because something about the place just doesn't sit right. It's subtle, quiet, like the air gets heavier the closer you walk. The ground behind her doesn't behave like normal dirt. It sinks in places that should be solid. It stays firm where it should give away. And the trees lean inward, crowding the path like they're trying to keep something away. Branches hang low enough to touch your shoulders, even when there's no wind. The whole area feels like it's been shaped by hands you can't see. I wasn't planning on stopping. I only pulled over because I saw something on the bank. I saw a big ball of fur low to the ground, like someone had crouched there. It wasn't moving. It wasn't reacting. It was just sitting there, still, like it was waiting on me to notice. But when I walked closer, it wasn't a person. It was a spot. A perfect, human-sized depression in the dirt, pressed down like someone had been sitting there for a long time, long enough to leave their outline. The edges were short, defined, not the kind of mark you would get for someone resting for a minute. But this was hours, maybe longer. Not a kid, not a camper. Someone who stayed still. There was a piece of paper underneath the rock beside it. Not folded, not hidden. Just placed there, deliberate. Like whatever was sitting there wanted the next person who came close to find it. The rock wasn't even heavy. Just enough weight to keep the paper from blowing away. Like they expected someone to come sooner. It was a note. It wasn't a warning. It was a map. Hand-drawn. Shaky lines, the creek, the mill, the fence line, and one X. Not near the water, not near the trees, deep behind the creek, in the thick part nobody goes into because the brush grabs your clothes and the ground feels like it's unstable underneath your feet. The X wasn't big, just a small mark, but it looks intentional. Like whoever drew it didn't want to draw attention, just direction. I stood there longer than I should have staring at the X. There's nothing out here, no trail, no structure, no reason for anyone to mark it. But the longer I looked at the map, the X felt like it wasn't marking a place. It wasn't marking a moment, something that happened, something someone didn't want to forget. But someone did. Someone sat there long enough to leave their shape in the dirt. Someone wanted that map found. I didn't go to the X, not that day. But the silence around me felt unnatural. Not the quiet of nature, but the quiet of something paying attention. Even the creek had stopped moving. The water looked frozen in place, completely still. I walked back toward my car and halfway there I heard something behind me. Not footsteps, not movement, just a single sharp inhale like someone was waking up. It wasn't loud, it wasn't close, but it was clear, too clear. I didn't turn around. I got into my car and left. But that night, I kept seeing something on the map in my head. The shaky lines, the X, the shape in the dirt, the way the trees leaned in, the way the water stopped. People don't just mark places like that unless they found something. And they don't leave maps unless they wanted someone else to find it too. Whatever's sitting behind that old creek by the mill, it wasn't meant to stay buried. It was meant for whoever comes next. What stuck with me wasn't the map or the dirt or the silence. It was the way the whole place felt unfinished, like that I walked into the middle of something that didn't stop just because I left. And on the drive home, I kept catching myself glancing at the passenger seat. Not the mirror, not the road behind me, the seat. like I'd brought something with me without realizing it. A thought, a presence, a question I didn't ask out loud. But by the time I pulled into my driveway, I felt wired, not scared, not paranoid, just alert. Like my body was waiting on something to happen next. My hands stayed on the steering wheel longer than they needed to. I was frozen. I just didn't feel done. The house looked normal, lights off, curtains still. But stepping out of the car felt wrong, like I was interrupting a moment I wasn't supposed to walk into. I stood there for a second, listening to nothing, trying to figure out why my chest felt tight. It wasn't a creak. It wasn't a map. It wasn't a shape in the dirt. It was the sense that whatever started out there, it didn't stay out there. And I knew, without any dramatic realization, without any big moment, I'd have to go back out there. Not because I wanted answers, but because that place had hidden secrets. Thank you for listening to another episode of One Voice Mini Stories.